Hello everybody. So I wanted to let you know that today's video is called Shiny Pants. So if you've been here before, this is a place where you come and I read to you. I read stories off of one of my blogs. The two blogs are davidarment.blog and the other one is Patreon/davidarment. This story you would find on the first blog, davidarment.blog, and usually I read, but today I'm just going to tell you the story out of my memory. So we'll see how this goes. Before we get started, you probably notice, if you've seen these videos before, that I'm in a new place. I moved my camera to a new location within the studio, and I'm using a new camera. This is a normal kind of like photographic camera, where the camera I was using before was built into the MacBook Pro. The good thing about this camera is you can see me a lot better, and the bad thing about this camera is you can see me a lot better, and so poor you have to look at this ugly mug. So here we go. We're going to talk about shiny pants. So where we live, there's a town nearby. It's called Goshen. It's Goshen, Indiana. And Goshen, Indiana is a real nice little town. It's kind of like the old towns that we had in America, where they have a real downtown with shops and nice places to walk. Whereas a lot of other old downtowns have disappeared because the Walmart went in outside of town next to the highway, and the businesses kind of downtown disappeared. So Goshen's a nice town. And Goshen also is nice because they have a farmer's market on Saturday, and the farmer's market is really nice. Especially this time of year, because this time of year they have fresh produce, because the gardens and the farms are plentiful, and when you go in, there's a Amish guy on the right selling fresh produce and everything off of his farm. There's a lady that sells freeze-dried dog treats. I think probably people could use them, but it requires her, I'm guessing it requires her to get extra permissions, and so she just sells doggy treats. There are people selling all kinds of produce and honey and just whatever you can imagine they're selling. There's also a real nice bakery that I like. It's a French bakery. The pastries there are just like they are in France, so I like the French pastry. But the story really starts when there was a lady looking at the produce on a table. She had her daughter with her, and her daughter was kind of between Mom and the table. Mom was standing back from the table studying that produce. I mean, she was studying the produce like it was going to be, whatever was on that table was going to be on the final exam. So she was really looking that produce over, and between her and the table was the little girl. And the little girl had on these shiny pants. Well, I like talking to little kids. I see them and I tease them and I say silly things and they correct me, and that's great. Like I'll see a little boy with a blue shirt and I'll say, "Oh, that is the nicest yellow shirt you've got on." And they will correct me and say, "No, it's blue." And anyway, I just enjoy teasing little kids. So I said to this little girl, and not in a teasing way, in an honest way, I like those pants. Well, as soon as those words came out of my mouth, her mom stepped forward. And she heard me say, "I like those pants." So she turned to me, and I don't know if you've ever seen that movie with Al Pichino. I think it's called Taxi Driver. And he talks to this person and he says, "Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?" And that's the tone she took. Only she wasn't saying, "Are you talking to me?" She was saying, "You like these pants? These pants? You like these pants?" And really there was nothing fancy about her pants. They were just a normal pair of jeans. And so she was kind of getting a little rambunctious in her comments, and I was starting to get a little worried. And I was going to try to explain myself, but my tongue got tied up around my eye teeth and I couldn't see what I was saying. So I started kind of stuttering, and about that time the little girl stepped to the side behind her mom where I could see her. And that little girl was posing. She was like, had her leg out, and she was rubbing her hands up and down her shiny pants. When she did so, the little things that were like fish scales, that were really shiny little scales, they moved and they changed and reflected the light differently, and she was trying to show me how her shiny pants changed. And her mom kind of caught my eye and realized, oh, he's not talking to me, he's talking about my daughter's pants. Then at the same time that was kind of resolving itself, Pam, my wife, stepped up beside me. Pam had been, looking at all the things in the farmer's market, and Pam's a farm girl, so she likes the farmer's market. So those two things took the pressure off, and the lady began to kind of like deflate. She was like a balloon about ready to burst, and she kind of started deflating, and I quit stuttering and recomposed myself, and we all went about our day. So you have to be careful when you're out there. You just never know what you're going to trip across. That's the story of the shiny pants and how I almost got in big trouble. So you can come back again soon, I hope, and we'll find out some other things that might be of interest to you. And thank you for joining us today. Now, how do I turn this thing off?